In the next few series, I wanted to explore LlamaIndex workflows and see how LlamaIndex workflows can be used to create some of the agentic patterns. Today, we will see how we can use LlamaIndex workflows to implement a critic chain. And the use case is like this, like we'll have a summary agent that will summarize a content provided to it. After summarizing the content, the summary agent will provide the summary to the review agent. The review agent will uh, evaluate the summary and create a review score and a review feedback. The score will see the score will be between 1 to 5. And when we look at the code, we'll see how we have put the logic, like if the score is greater than equal to 4, then you stop the workflow. Otherwise, loop it, give it back to the summary agent with the review comment from the review agent until you reach that score of 4 or until a certain number of tries or certain number of retries, basically, right? So that is the use case. Let us go to the code right now and see how it has been implemented, right? So I have the summary workflow class here, right? It instantiates from the workflow class, which is in the LlamaIndex package itself. So if you see, it comes from LlamaIndex core.workflow, importing workflow. So this summary workflow inherits from the workflow class. And then I have my first step. So in LlamaIndex, each process or a node within a workflow is uses this step decorator. So at the step ends, this is one of the nodes in the workflow, and the function that is decorating is the create summary, which actually creates a summary, and it can get triggered. So when I say start event, this is a LlamaIndex reserved keyword, which tells that this particular function is the start of this workflow, right? Now I pass the review event also. That means this step can be triggered when the workflow starts or if a review event happens, right? The architecture of the LlamaIndex workflows is more like creating an event from its step and returning that event, which is called by another step, right? And then executes it. So similarly here, when start event means that this is my start of the workflow, and it can take the review event also as a parameter. So if the review event creates an event, then also it will get triggered. The output of this particular workflow is a summary event, right? Now this events, start event, as I said, it's a predefined, it's a reserved pedantic object within LlamaIndex. But the review event and the summary event is what I have created here as a separate class. So this is the review event, which has two properties: the review comment and the score. And the summary event takes two properties, or the summary event class has two properties. What is and that is the original text itself, which it needs to summarize, and the summary of the original text, right? So if I go here now, so since this particular function can be triggered either by the start event or the review event, I put this condition here that the feedback, populate the feedback if this event is a review event, else there is no feedback because I'm starting new. Right? Then I am calling a GPT-4o mini model to summarize the content, right? So the system prompt is, you are an AI that summarizes text concisely. And the summary prompt, I'll soon show you the summary prompt, takes two variables, the content and the feedback if available, right? So if I go to the summary prompt, it says summarize the following content. You will incorporate feedback if it is available. This is the content that needs to be summarized, and this is the feedback, right? And then I return the summary event by populating the attributes of the summary event we just saw. One is a summary itself, which is this content, and the original text, right? So this is what I returned as a summary event. The next process in the workflow, or the next step in the workflow, is the review summary. So if you see, the review summary now takes a summary event as a parameter. That means whenever the summary event is returned, it triggers the review summary, and the review summary either outputs a review event or a stop event. Like if the summary score is, as I mentioned, is greater than equal to 4, then it will go to the stop event. Stop event again is a reserved keyword, reserved event from LlamaIndex. It will stop the workflow. Otherwise, it will generate a review event, which will then re-trigger this create summary step, because I have the review event here as well, right? So here I am using GPT-4o. I take since I'm passing the summary event, I have the summary event summary attribute. I have the summary event's original text input as well, right? So now I pass the summary and the original text to the review agent, where the system prompt is you are an AI that review summaries for clarity, conciseness, and completeness, right? And if you see the review prompt that I have created, this is from, I took it from GEvals. So here you will be given one summary written for a news article. Your task is to rate the summary on one metric. And here the metric is coherence. I'm saying that you need to score it between 1 to 5, 1 uh, being the 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest based on the evaluation criteria. And here I have given it some criteria, right? So read the news article carefully and identify the main topic and key points. Read the summary and compare it to the news article. Check if the summary covers the main topic and key points of the news article, and if it presents them in a clear and logical order, right? Assign a score of coherence on a scale of 1 to 5, where 1 is the lowest and 5 is the highest based on the evaluation criteria. Now, for the demonstration purpose, I'm using 1 to 5, but usually when we use model as a judge, right? What I've seen is quantitative scoring is usually doesn't work well. Categorical scoring, like if you were to say, okay, high, low, medium, right? That works better. But just for the demonstration purpose, I use the scale of 1 to 5, and then I'm giving the original text and the summary that was created by the summary agent, and ask it to score it, right? And both this not the both or the review agent uses structured output. So when the review agent creates the output, it uses this pydantic model where the review and the score are the properties of the review output. So if I go back to the review agent, the way we coded it is, so this is the system prompt. This is the prompt that we have seen, and the response format is the review output. So I'll get it as a structured output where the review and the score will, I can, it will be in a JSON. I can easily extract it, right? That's what I'm doing here. The feedback that I'm getting from the response, I'm converting it to a JSON. Then I'm getting the score. Then I'm getting the actual review. And if the review score is greater than equal to 4, then I stop the I return the stop event. That means the work will stop. Otherwise, I will return the review event, which will re-trigger the summary agent, right? So that is what we will see. I try to, so there is a option in LlamaIndex where you can also, before running it, right, you can see how the flow works. I think there is a defect in this draw all possible flows. because so when I ran it, I got this critic workflow.html. Ideally, it should show a view like this, right? But when I created this, it actually created something like, if I show you browser, if I go to Chrome, right? It shows it like this, which is not correct, right? It misses a lot of things, right? So I think there is a defect in the draw all possible flows, right? But let's not draw it now. Let's execute it. Right? So I create an instance of the critic workflow, which is a summary workflow, an instance of summary workflow, and then I'm running the workflow here by passing the content, and we'll see the result, right? So let me run this. So it is now started running. We'll see first it will. So if in the first run itself, it gets a score of 4, then it will stop. In some cases it happened, but in some cases it actually, so in this case, the feedback score is 4. Since I said greater than equal to 4, it stopped, right? Let me run it one more time because there is one situation where the summary was not very good, and like it got a score of less than 4, then it loops back to the summary agent. Let's see if no, this time also the feedback score is 4. Let me do this. Let me just, for showing it, I'll just say if greater than 4, then it should loop, because then it will try to make it 5. But I also have a 10-second timeout. So within 10 seconds, it doesn't do it, right? Then it will fail. So see now feedback comment. So now it is recreating this, right? Let's see what the new score comes. Yeah, since the 10-second thing is there, it timed out, right? But since I got the feedback 4, it actually tried to run it again. Let me increase the timeout a little bit and see if it is able to get to a very uh, perfect a perfect summary or not. So first time it will, oops, what does it say? Uh, okay, length limit is reached, right? So I think I'll have to increase the uh, max token. So let me do it 500 here as well as 500 here. Let's see now. So it is giving me, okay, no, it get is okay. This time it got a score of 5, right? So okay, let me run it one more time. Let's see if we can get 4 again. Because if it is greater than 4, it will always be it will stop, right? So let's see what score we get. Okay, yeah. So this time also it is 5, and it's stopping. But if any um, um, time it the score is 4 or less, it will uh, go back to the summary agent to recreate it, right? So the feedback comment also is saying the summary effectively captures the main points of the original article, presenting them in a clear and logical order. It begins by introducing climate change as a critical challenge, then details the specific issues of rising temperature. So nowhere, so summary also covers technology, and so it gives a review comment. So since it's a perfect, right? So there is no improvement suggested by the model here. Overall, the summary is well structured and coherent, providing a cohesive overview of the article's content, right? So that's all. That's how the critic chain can be implemented in using Llama Index workflows. Thank you.